In the second lesson for Unit 5, we are going to talk about transformations of exponential function graphs. So the type of transformations we're going to talk about first, and example number 1, is called vertical translations. Okay, and a translation means that you're going to slide your picture. And if we're sliding vertically means that we're going to slide it either up or down. Okay, so if we look here, they made a little t-table for us to start with, which after you get the hang of this, you won't have to make a t-table, but we're going to look at it to help us out. So here's my original graph, 2 raised to the x. And then let's talk about this one as my first new picture. So if I look at the y values, how does 1/4 become 3 1/4? How does 1/2 become 3 1/2? How does 1 become 4? 2 become 5? 4 becomes 7? Hopefully everybody says, oh, well, if I just added 3 each time, then I would come up with the answers in the middle column. So if you look here, the graph in black, this is your old one or your original one, whichever one you want to call it. And this is my new one up here. And does everybody notice that they just took this random dot and then you could see that you are obviously moving that dot in an upwards direction. And then you count the spaces, 1, 2, 3. Now, what if I didn't have a t-table or a graph to look at? Where else do I see a +3? Oh, hey, here. Look at my equation. And in the equation, do you see that +3 at the end? Okay, like we talked about the other day, that was the asymptote. Well, your asymptote number right here will tell you whether you're shifting up or down. If it's a positive, you're going to shift up. And if it's negative, you're going to shift down. Now, so that everybody knows that we're not calling it an asymptote, we're going to use a different letter for the translations. So up here, does everybody see the new format? You're going to take your function, whatever it is, and then the plus k number to the side, or it could be a minus k. But if k is positive, then for the translation, you would say it goes up k units. And then if you wanted verification here, you could come over and look at the charts. Okay, so let's say we're looking at this one next. So how do I get 4 to become 1? How do I get 2 to become -1? Etc. And then hopefully you would say, oh, 4 minus 3 gives me 1. So if I subtracted 3 each time, I would get the new y number. So that helps to verify that if k is negative, instead of going in an upward direction, if you look here at your picture, you're going to notice that you're going in a downward direction. So you would say down k units. So if k is positive, you're going to say up. And if the function has a negative k, you're going to say down. Okay, then the other type of translation we have, instead of going vertically, is to go horizontally. Horizontal translations. So a horizontal translation is now that you're sliding the picture instead of up and down, that's vertical. Horizontal goes left or right. So now my first example here, here's my original one, 2 raised to the power of x. And then here's my new one, 2 raised to x minus 5. So does everybody notice this time that I don't have a big K number anymore? I've got more up there with my exponent instead of a big number. So I got more things up there with my exponent. So that's how we tell if we are going to be in the vertical or the horizontal, is if the number is up in the exponent, that makes it horizontal. Okay, so now if you look at the picture, so here's my old one here in pink. And then here's my new one here in blue. And then if you look, you're going to say, oh, I notice that I am sliding to the right. So this one is we're sliding to the right 5 spaces. Okay, so this is what horizontal translations will look like. Here's the generic. Okay, you're now going to switch. We're not going to call it K anymore because K is a big number. So now we're up with the exponent. So we're going to call it an H. So we have g of x equals 2 raised to the x minus h. Now in our problem, we had 2 raised to the x minus 5. And this is where it gets a little tricky because most people go up there, oh, okay, h number is negative 5. So that means we're going to go to the left. But if you look at our picture, we didn't really go to the left. We went to the right. So horizontal translation is opposite of how it looks. So if h is negative, then you're really going to go to the right h units. If h is positive, you're going to do the opposite and go to the left h units. So very important. Vertical translations is exactly how it looks. Horizontal translations is the opposite of how it looks. And then if you want more proof, you can come down here and look at my second example. And you're going to notice up here, it says 2 raised to the x plus 3. So that's this red one. And then comparing it to my original one, which is blue. And then this time you notice that you're going to the left 3 units. So super important. I'm going to write it down here again. Vertical is exactly how it looks. Horizontal is opposite of how it looks. So super important stuff right there. Boom. All right. On the back. For these, I'm going to give you 2 different graphs. We don't have a picture to look at. We're just going to figure out, did I slide it up and down? Did I slide it left and right? And how many units did I have it? So how does the graph of f of x equals 10 raised to the x plus 9 compared to g of x equals 10 raised to the x plus 3. What you have to know is the first one listed is the new picture. And the one that comes after compared, that's your original or old picture. So I want to know, how do we get from the old to the new? So if I look at the old, first thing I have to decide, is this an up or down, or is it a left or right? So that plus 3. Does everybody notice that's a big plus 3? If it's a big plus 3, if it's not in the exponent, that means up or down. And then up or down is exactly how it looks. So on this one, is everybody good? You would say, oh, you would take that graph and shift up 3. Now the new graph has plus 9. Plus 9 is a big number. Big numbers are up or down. It's exactly how it looks. So is everybody okay? You would say up 9. So we're talking about vertical movement here. So here's my vertical axis. My first graph is going to be at 3. My second graph is going to be at 9. So how do I get from 3 to 9? Hopefully everybody says, well, to get from 3 to 9, I have to go in an upwards direction. And how many spaces up would I have to go? So 3 to 9 is going up 6 spaces. So my overall answer is, the original one to the new one is, I have to go up 6 units. Okay, next one. Once again, if I look at the old one first, it says plus 6. That's a big number. If it's a big number, that means up or down. And if it's positive, we're going to say up 6. On the second one, that's a negative 4. So that's a big number. So we're going to say down 4. So I'll make my little sketch here, focusing on the vertical. So here's 6, and here's negative 4. So remember, we're starting at 6, because that's my old graph. So I'm starting at 6, and I want to get to negative 4. So is everyone okay? I have to go in a downward direction. And then how many spaces do I have to go down? I want to get from 6 to negative 4. And hopefully everybody says, oh, there is 10 spaces from 6 to negative 4. So my final answer is down 10 units. Okay, the next one, you're going to notice on these that I don't have big numbers anymore. I got little bitty numbers up in my exponent. So instead of up and down, we're going to be talking left and right. So on my old one, it says plus 3. But remember, left or right is opposite of how it looks. So don't say right. You have to say left 3. And then my new graph says x plus 10. So opposite. So that would be left 10. So this time I'm focusing on the horizontal axis. I'm going to be left at negative 3. And then I'm going to be left at negative 10. So remember, I'm starting at negative 3 and I want to end at negative 10. So I have to go leftward. So everybody good? I have to go in the direction of left. And then how many spaces left do I have to go to get from negative 3 to negative 10? And hopefully everybody says 7. So left 7 units. Okay, D, last one. Once again, they're up as little bitty numbers, so we're talking left or right. So opposite would be right 5. Opposite would be right 15. So I'm at positive 5 and positive 15. So how do I get from positive 5 to positive 15? Well, I have to go in the direction of right. And how many spaces in between? 10. So my answer is right 10 units. Once again, make sure you do the try it ones down there before you come into class to get full credit. Thanks.